नारायण गोस्वामी friend is Swami Shishya Bhakti-Vidanta Dandi Maharaj, Nam Nishka Santa Shri Aniruddha Prabhuji. All the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas are gathered here to accept my humble obeisance. Dantum 1.8.8 Dantum Krutamatir Brahman Dwarakam Rathamasita Upaleve Abhidhavanti Uttaram Bhaya Vivvalam. Dantum, just desiring to start. Kritamatihi, having decided, Brahman, O Brahman, Dwarakam, towards Dwarka, Ratham, on the chariot, Asthitaha, seated, Upaleve, saw, Avidhavantim, coming hurriedly, Uttaram, Uttara, Bhaya Vivvalam, being afraid. As soon as he seated himself on the chariot to start for Dwarka, he saw Uttara hurrying toward him in fear. All the members of the family of the Pandavas were completely dependent on the protection of the Lord, and therefore the Lord protected all of them in all circumstances. The Lord protects everyone, but one who depends completely upon him is especially looked after by the Lord. The father is more attentive to the little son who is exclusively dependent on the father. Uttarovacha Pahi pahi ma yogin Devadeva Jagatpate Nanyam Tadbhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam Yatra Mrityu Parasparam Pahi pahi Mahayogin Devadeva Jagatpate Nanyam Tadbhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam Uttaravacha Uttara said Pahi Pahi. Protect, protect, Mahayogin, the greatest mystic, Deva Deva, the worshipable of the worshipped, Jagatpate, O Lord of the universe, no, not, Anyam, anyone else, Tvat, than you, Avayam, fearlessness, what do I see? Yatra, where there is, Mrityu, death, Parasparam, in the world of duality. Uttara said, O Lord of Lords, Lord of the universe, you are the greatest of mystics. Please protect me, for there is no one else who can save me from the clutches of death in this world of duality. This material world is the world of duality, in contrast with the oneness of the absolute realm. The world of duality is composed of matter and spirit, whereas the absolute world is complete spirit without any tinge of the material qualities. In dual world, everyone is falsely trying to become the master of the world, whereas in the absolute world, the Lord is the absolute Lord, and others are his absolute servitors. In the world of duality, everyone is envious of all others, and death is inevitable due to the dual existence of matter and spirit. The Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. One cannot save himself from the cruel hands of death in the material world without having surrendered himself at the lotus feet of the Lord. Extend. Abhidravati Mamisha Sharastaptaya Soviho Tamam Dhatumam Mame Garvo Nipatyam. Abhidravati coming towards Mam me Isha, O Lord, Sharaha, the arrow, Tapta, fiery, Ayasaha, iron, Vivo, O great one, Tamam, desire, Dhatu, let it burn, Mam, me, Natha, O protector, Ma, not, Me, my, Garbha, embryo, Ni, Nipatyatam, be aborted. O my Lord, you are all powerful. A fiery iron arrow is coming towards me fast. My Lord, let it burn me personally. If you so desire, but please do not let it burn and abort my embryo. Please do me this favor, my lord. This incident took place after the death of Abhimanyu, the husband of Uttara. Abhimanyu's widow, Uttara, should have followed the path of her husband. But because she was pregnant and Maharaj Parikshit, a great devotee of the Lord, was lying in embryo, she was responsible for his protection. The mother of a child has a great responsibility in giving all protection to the child, and therefore Uttara was not ashamed to express this frankly before Lord Krishna. Uttara was the daughter of a great king, the wife of a great hero, and student of a great devotee. And later she was the mother of a good king also. She was fortunate in every respect. Utavacha Upadharya vachastasya Bhagavan Bhakta-Vatsala Apandavamidam Kartum Draoner Astram Abhyudyata. Utavacha Suta Goswami said, Upadharja, by hearing her patiently, Vachaha, words, Tasya, her, Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, Bhakta Vatsala, he who is very much affectionate towards his devotees. Pandavam, without the existence of the Pandavas' descendants, idam this, Kartum, to do it, Draunehe, of the son of Dronacharya, Astram, weapon, Abudhyata, understood. Suta Goswami said, having patiently heard her words, Lord Shri Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotees, could at once understand that Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, had thrown the Brahmastra to finish the last life in the Pandav family. The Lord is impartial in every respect, but still he is inclined towards his devotees because there is a great necessity of this for everyone's well-being. In Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna has said, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. I am equal to all. So Krishna doesn't discriminate. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I am equal to all, but I especially favor my devotees. This is what Krishna is telling. So, we should understand that, behold, in his boundless magnanimity, the Lord, impartial in every facet, yet graciously inclines towards his devoted soul. For therein lies a profound necessity, ensuring the well-being of all beings. A sacred lineage of ardent devotees, the illustrious Pandava family, merited the divine desire to govern the realms of existence. Hence, with mighty fervor, he dismantled the dominion of the Duryodhan regime and bestowed the throne upon the virtuous Maharaj Yudhishthira, exemplifying his divine will. Furthermore, with tender solicitude, the Lord sought to safeguard the yet to be born Maharaj Parikshit, cherishing the notion of a world adorned by the radiant presence of the Pandavas, the epitome of a sanctified devotee household. Verily, he could not fathom a realm bereft of the sacred influence, thus revealing his benevolent heart and resolute intent. The Lord wanted that Pandavas survive and their dynasty go on. Tarhi evatha munisreshta Pandava panchasayakan Atmano abhimukhan diktan Alak-shastrani upadadu. Tarhi then, Eva also, Atha therefore, Munisreshta, O chief amongst the Munis, Pandava, all the sons of Pandu, Pancha, 5, Sayakan, weapons, Atmanaha, own selves, Abhimukhan, towards, Diktan, glaring, Alaksha, seeing it, Astrani, weapons, Upadadu took up. Foremost among the great thinkers, Munis, Shaunaka, seeing the glaring Brahmastra proceeding towards them, the Pandavas took up their 5 respective weapons. So Brahmastra was approaching them. So Pandavas, they saw that when Brahmastra are finer than the nuclear weapons. There are nuclear weapons, but Brahmastra are finer than nuclear weapons. Ashwathama discharged the Brahmastra simply to kill the Pandavas, namely the 5 brothers, headed by Maharaj Yudhishthira and their only grandson, who was lying within the womb of Uttara. Therefore, the Brahmastra, more effective and finer than the atomic weapons, was not as blind as the atomic bombs. When the atomic bombs are discharged, they do not discriminate between the target and others. Mainly, the atomic bombs do harm to the innocent because there is no control. The Brahmastra is not like that. It marks out the target and proceeds accordingly without harming the innocent. You see that the modern science is not as accurate. Previously, the weapons were far more accurate. Brahmastra, Vayujastra. Actually, Marich was the maternal uncle of Ravana, and he was causing disturbance where Srila Gurudev was born, that area, Buxar. So Lord Ram released Manavastra, and Manavastra means human weapon. And that weapon threw him near the ocean, near Mauritius. This word Mauritius, this comes from the word Marich. And Lord didn't throw him in the middle of the ocean, otherwise he would have drowned and died. Or didn't throw him on the ground, otherwise he would have, due to the impact on the ground, he would have died. Threw him in the water, but near the island of Mauritius. You'll see that Lord is very merciful. So Lord hit him with Manavastra. That is what he said. So this Brahmastra is very, very accurate. Far more accurate than the modern weapon. Vyasanam vikshatattesham ananya vishatmanam sudarshena swastrena swanam raksham yadad vibhu. Vyasanam, great danger. Viksha, having observed that tesham, there, ananya, no other. Vishaya means Atmanam, thus inclined, Sudarshanena, by the will of Sri Krishna, so Astrena, by the weapon, Swanam, of his own devotees, Raksham, protection, Vedadata, did it, Vibhu, the Almighty. So now you will see that Bhagavan, he wants to protect his devotee, Parikshit. Parikshit is not even born, but even before he is born, he is known to be a great devotee. Lord knows everything. And he is going to reveal the Bhagavatam. Because if Parikshit would not be there, then Sukadeva Goswami would not have spoken Bhagavatam. Who would have spoken the Bhagavatam? It is certainly that in order to deliver Parikshit Maharaj only, the Sukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam. So Parikshit Maharaj should not perish. So Almighty Personality of God is Sri Krishna, having observed that a great danger was befalling his unalloyed devotees, who were fully surrendered souls, at once took up his Sudarshan disc to protect them. The Brahmastra, the supreme weapon released by Ashwathama, was something similar to a nuclear weapon, but with more radiation and heat. This Brahmastra is the product of a more subtle science, being the product of a finer sound, a mantra recorded in the Vedas. Another advantage of this weapon is that it is not blind like the nuclear weapon because it can be directed only to the target and nothing. Ashwatthama released the weapon just to finish all the male members of Pandu's family. Therefore, in one sense, it was more dangerous than the atomic bombs because it could penetrate even the most protected place and would never miss the target. Knowing all this, Lord Shri Krishna at once took up his personal weapon to protect his devotee. who did not know anyone other than Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has clearly promised that his devotees are never to be vanquished. And he behaves according to the quality or degree of the devotion service rendered by the devotee. Here the word Ananya Vishyatmana is significant. The Pandavas were 10% dependent on the protection of the Lord. Although they were all great warriors themselves, but the Lord neglects even the greatest warriors and also vanquishes them in no time. When the Lord saw that there was no time for the Pandavas to counteract the Brahmastra of Ashwatthama, he took up his weapon even at the risk of breaking his own body. Although the battle of Kurukshetra was almost finished, still according to his vow, he should not have taken up his own weapon. But the emergency was more important than the vow. He is better known as the Bhakta Vatsal or the lover of his devotee. Thus he preferred to continue as Bhakta Vatsal than to be a worldly moralist who never breaks his solemn vow. You'll see here that in this specific verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that when the Lord realized that his unaware devotee who had completely surrendered to him were in danger, he immediately wielded his Sudarshan disc to protect them. The Brahmastra, the ultimate weapon released by Ashwatthama, was similar to a nuclear weapon but with even more devastating radiation and heat. This Brahmastra was the result of a more subtle science, derived from a sound vibration or a mantra, recorded in the Vedas. Another unique aspect of this weapon is its precision, as it can be targeted only at its intended destination and nothing else. Ashwatthama unleashed this weapon with the intention of annihilating all the male members of the Pandu dynasty. In this sense, the Brahmastra was more dangerous than atomic bombs, as it had the ability to penetrate even the most fortified places and never missed its mark. It never missed its mark. Being aware of the imminent danger faced by his devotees, who recognized no one but himself, Lord swiftly employed his personal weapon to defend them. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord guarantees that his devotee will never be defeated. His actions are in accordance with the quality and extent of the devotional service offered by his devotees. The term Ananya Vishatmanam is significant in this context, indicating that the Pandavas completely relied on Bhagavan. The Pandavas were completely relying on Bhagavan, so therefore Bhagavan could not abandon them. Text 14. Antastha sarvabhutanam atma yogeshwaro hari swamaya vruno madgarbham vairatya kurutantave. The Lord, so Antastha, being within, Sarva, all, Bhutanam, all the living entities. Atma, soul, Yoga Ishwaraha, the Lord of all mysticism, Harihi, the Supreme Lord, Swamayaya, by the person energy, Abruno, the covered, Garbham, embryo, Vaitaran, Vairatya of Uttara, Kuru Tantave, for the progeny of Maharaj Kuru. You see that Bhagavan covered the embryo of Uttara by his own body. This is the mercy of the Lord. For his pure devotees, he is always trying to help his pure devotees. So we should never doubt the intention of Bhagavan. Bhagavan is Bhakta Vatsal. Bandhu iti namate smaran Yadavendra patitoham Bhaktavatsalaya tvai shrute hridayam mamakam ashutam pati. The greatest quality of Bhagavan is that he is Bhaktavatsal. So this is Bhagavan's greatest quality. The Lord of supreme mysticism, Shri Krishna, resides within everyone's heart as the Paramatma. As such, just to protect the progeny of the Kuru dynasty, he covered the embryo of Uttara by his personal energy. The Lord of Supreme Mysticism can simultaneously reside within everyone's heart or even within the atoms by his Paramatma feature, his plenary portion. Therefore, from within the body of Uttara, he covered the embryo to save Maharaj Parikshit and protect the progeny of Maharaj Kuru, of whom King Pandu was also a descendant. Both the sons of Dhritarashtra and those of Pandu belong to the same dynasty of Maharaj Kuru. Therefore, both of them were generally known as Kurus. But when they were but when there were differences between the two families, the sons of Dhritarashtra were known as Kurus, whereas the sons of Pandu were known as Pandavas. Since the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra were all killed in the battle of Kurukshetra, the last son of dynasty is designated as the son of Kurus. You see that the Kauravas, the Kuru dynasty, they should be protected. The Kuru dynasty has to be protected. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who possesses great mystical power, dwells within the heart of all as the Paramatma. He dwells within the heart of everyone as Paramatma. And in order to safeguard the descendants of the Kuru dynasty, he used his personal energy to protect the embryo of Uttara. The Supreme Lord, who possesses extraordinary mystical abilities, has the ability to simultaneously reside within the hearts of all living beings, even within atoms, in the form of his plenary portion known as Paramatma. Thus, from within Uttara's body, he protected the embryo to save Maharaj Parikshit and ensure the continuation of the Kuru dynasty, of which King Pandu was also a descendant. Both the sons of Dhritarashtra and the sons of Pandu belong to the same Kuru dynasty and were generally known as Kauravas or Kurus. However, when conflict arose between the two families, the sons of Dhritarashtra were referred to as Kurus, while the sons of Pandu were known as Pandavas. Since all the sons and grandsons of Dhritarashtra were killed in the battle of Kurukshetra, the last surviving son of the dynasty is recognized as the son of Kurus. You see that the last surviving son of the dynasty is recognized as the son of Kurus. So, Yadyapastram Brahma Shirasvam Amogham Ta Pratikriyam Vaishnavam Teja Sadhya Samasamya Bhagavatam. Yadyapi, although Astram, weapon, Brahma Shiraha, supreme, two, but Amogham, without cha and Apratikriyam, not to be counteracted, Vaishnavam, in relation with Vishnu, Teja, strength, Asadhya, being confronted with, Samashamyat, was neutralized, Bhrigu Dvaha, O glory of the family of Bhrigu. O Shaunaka, glory of Bhrigu's family, although the supreme Brahmastra weapon released by Ashwatthama was irresistible and without check or counteraction, it was neutralized and foiled when confronted by the strength of Vishnu, Lord Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Brahma Jyotir, or the glowing transcendental effulgence, is resting on Lord Sri Krishna. In other words, the glowing effulgence known as Brahma Tej is nothing but the rays of the Lord, just as the sun rays are rays of the sun disk. So this Brahma weapon, although materially irresistible, could not surpass the supreme strength of the Lord. The weapon called Brahmastra, released by Ashwatthama, was neutralized and foiled by Lord Sri Krishna by his own energy. That is to say, he did not wait for any other's help because he is absolute. So Brahmano hi pratisthaham amritasya vayasya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukha ekantikasya cha. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is the resting place of Brahma Jyoti, or the bright light emanating from his body. So Bhagavan personally neutralized the weapon showered by Ashwatthama. So here he said that, O Shaunaka, esteemed descendant of Bhrugu's family, the Brahmastra weapon unleashed by Ashwatthama was indeed formidable, possessing immense power and being unstoppable by any means. However, when faced with the indomitable strength of Vishnu, Lord Krishna, it was rendered ineffective and thwarted. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is elucidated that the ultimate source of the radiant spiritual light, known as Brahma Tejas, is none other than Lord Sri Krishna himself. Just as the rays of the sun are inseparable from the sun disk, similarly the Brahma Tejas is the effulgence emanating from the Supreme Lord. Hence, even though the Brahma Jyoti may possess immense material power, it cannot surpass the supreme potency of the Lord. The Brahmastra weapon which was invoked by Ashwatthama was neutralized and nullified by Lord Sri Krishna through his own divine energy. He did not rely on anyone else for assistance because he is absolute and complete in himself. You can see that Bhagwan, how he protects his devotees. Mamam stham hi etadascharyam sarvascharyamaichute yaidam maya devya sudatyavati hantajam. Ma, do not. Mam, mamstha, think. He certainly etad all these. Ashcharyam, wonderful. Sarva, all. Ashcharyamay, in the all mysterious. Achyute, the infallible. Ya, one who. Idam, this creation. Maya, by his energy. Devya, transcendental. Sujati, creates. Avati, maintains. Hanti, annihilates. Aja, unborn. O Brahmanas, do not think this to be especially wonderful in the activities of the mysterious, infallible, supreme personality of Godhead. By his own transcendent energy, he creates, maintains, and annihilates all material things, although he himself is unborn. The activities of the Lord are always inconceivable to the tiny brain of the living entities. Nothing is impossible for the Supreme Lord, but all his actions are wonderful for us, and thus is always beyond the range of our conceivable limits. The Lord is the all powerful, all perfect personality of Godhead. The Lord is 100% perfect, whereas others, namely Narayan, Brahma, Shiva, the demigods, and all other living beings, possess only different percentage of such perfection. No one is equal to or greater than him. He is unrivaled. So here it is told that Bhagwan is worshipable by everyone. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Maruta Stuvanti Divyestavair Veda Sangha Pado Pramodosvair Sayanti Samaga Dhanavastidgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yogino Yasyantum Navidu Sura Suraguna Devaya Tasmai Namaha. All demigods worship is lotus feet of Sri Krishna. So here it is told of Brahmanas, it is not astonishing to witness such extraordinary activities performed by the infallible and enigmatic personality of Godhead. By his own transcendent energy, he effortlessly creates, sustains, and annihilates the entirety of material existence, although he himself is unborn. The activities of the Supreme Lord are incomprehensible to the limited intelligence of living beings. When nothing is beyond the capabilities of the Lord, his actions always appear wondrous to us, as they transcend our capacity for understanding. He is the omnipotent and flawless personality of Godhead, possessing absolute perfection in every aspect. In contrast, other beings such as Narayan, Brahma, Shiva, the demigods, and all living entities possess only varying degrees of perfection. No one can equal or surpass him, for he is unparalleled in his greatness. So this is the purport here. So next verse. Brahma Tejo Vinirmukhair आत्मजै सह कृष्णया प्रयाणाभिमुखं कृष्णम् इदमाह पृथा सती. Brahma Teja, the radiation of the Brahmastra. Vinirmukhai, being saved from Atmajai, along with her sons, Saha with Krishnaya, Draupadi, Prayana, outgoing, Avimukham, towards Krishnam, unto Lord Krishna, Idam, this, Aha, said, Pritha, Kunti, Sati, chaste, devoted to the Lord. Thus saved from the radiation of the Brahmastras, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her five sons and Draupadi addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home. Kunti is described here as Sati or chaste due to her unavailing devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Her mind will now be expressed in the following prayers for Lord Krishna. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, namely any other living being or demigod, even for deliverance from danger. That was all along the characteristic of the whole family of the Pandavas. They knew nothing except Krishna, and therefore the Lord was always ready to help them in all respects and in all circumstances. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotee. One should not therefore look for help from imperfect living beings or demigods, but one should look for all help from Lord Krishna, who is competent to save his devotees. So the chaste devotee also never asks the Lord for help, but the Lord, out of his own accord, is always anxious to render it. You see that. So we should only depend on Krishna. Just like a chaste woman depends on her husband, devotee should always be chaste. That rakshishyati vishvaso. भोक्तृत्वे वर्णम तथा आत्मनिक्षेप कार्पण्यो षड्विधा शरणागति. So Sharanagati means complete surrender and guarantee that I have full faith in the mind that Krishna will certainly protect me. Krishna will never abandon me. Krishna will always protect me. So thus protected from the destructive power of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the virtuous devotee of Lord Krishna, along with her five sons and Draupadi, addressed Lord Krishna as he prepared to depart for home. Kunti is praised here as Sati or virtuous due to her unwavering devotion to Lord Sri Krishna. Her heartfelt prayers to Lord Krishna will soon be expressed. A true devotee of the Lord doesn't seek assistance and deliverance from any other living being or demigod. This was a definite characteristic of the entire Pandava family. They knew nothing but Krishna, and as a result, Lord Krishna was always ready to assist them in every situation and circumstance. This is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependency of his devotees. Therefore, one should not rely on imperfect beings or demigods for help. Instead, one should seek all assistance from Lord Krishna, who is fully capable of saving his devotees. A true devotee never asks the Lord for help. The Lord, out of his own accord, is always eager to offer assistance. The devotee will not ask, "Oh Lord, assist me, help me," but Bhagavan will anyway help. Now, these are the prayers of Kunti. This is one of the first glorification of Bhagavan in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam is full of stutis. Stuti means glorification of Bhagavan. And the first glorification is by Mother Kunti. Kunti Vacha Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrute Param Alaksham Sarvabhutanam Antarbahiravastitam. Kunti Vacha. Srimati Kunti said, Namaste, let me bow down. Purusham, the supreme person, Tva, you, Adyam, the original, Ishwaram, the controller, Prakriti of the material cosmos, Param, beyond, Alaksham, the invisible, Sarva, all, Bhutanam, all living beings, Antah, within, Bahi, without, Avasthitam, existing. Shrimati Kunti said, O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. So Srimati Kunti Devi was quite aware that Krishna is the original personality of Godhead, although he was playing the part of his nephew, of her nephew. Such an enlightened lady could not commit a mistake by offering obeisances unto her nephew. Therefore, she addressed him as the original Purusha, beyond the material cosmos. Although all living entities are also transcendental, they are neither original nor infinite. The living entities are apt to fall down under the clutches of material nature, but the Lord is never like that. In the Vedas, therefore, he is described as the chief among all living entities. Nityo Nityanam Chetana Chetananam. Then again, he is addressed as Ishvara or the controller. The living entities or the demigods like Indra, Chandra, and Surya are also to some extent Ishvara, but none of them is the supreme Ishvara or the ultimate controller. He is the Parameshwara or the super soul. He is both within and without. Although he was present before Srimati Kunti as a nephew, he was also within her and everyone else. In the Bhagavad Gita 15.15, the Lord says, I am situated in everyone's heart, and only due to me one remembers, forgets, and is cognizant, etc. Through all the Vedas, I am to be known because I am the compiler of the Vedas and I am the teacher of the Vedanta. When Kunti affirms that the Lord, although both within and without all living beings, is still invisible. The Lord is, so to speak, a puzzle for the common man. Queen Kunti experienced personally that Lord Krishna was present before her, yet he entered within the womb of Uttara to save her embryo from the attack of Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Kunti herself was puzzled about whether Shri Krishna is all pervasive or localized. In fact, he is both, but he reserves the right of not being exposed to persons who are not surrendered to. This shaking curtain is called Maya energy of the Supreme Lord, and it controls the limited vision of the rebellious soul. It is explained as follows. Maya Javanikashanyam Ajnadokshajamavgayam Lakshase Mudadrusha Nato Natyadharo Yatha. Maya deluding, Javanika curtain, Akishannam covered by, Agya ignorant, Adokshajam beyond the range of material conception, transcendental, Avgayam inapproachable, irreproachable, no not, Lakshase observed, Muda Drusha by the foolish observer, Nataha artist, Natyadhara dressed as a player, Yatha. So Bhagavan here, it is told that Bhagavan is covered by Maya. Bhagavan is covered by the curtain of Maya. Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Naham prakasham sarvasya yoga maya samavrita moho yamna vijanati ma adam avgayam. So Maya is deluding. Javanaka is the curtain. Achandam covered by. Agya ignorant. Adokshajam beyond the range of material conception. Very nice verse. Being beyond the range of limited sense perception, you are eternally irreproachable factor covered by the curtain of deluding energy. You are invisible to the foolish observer, exactly as an actor dressed as a player is not recognized. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Shri Krishna affirms that less intelligent persons mistake him to be an ordinary man like us, and thus they deride him. The same is confirmed herein by Queen Kunti. The less intelligent persons are those who rebel against the authority of the Lord. Such persons are known as asuras. The asuras cannot recognize the Lord's authority. When the Lord himself appears amongst us as Ram, Narsinga, Vara, and so on, in the original form as Krishna, he performs many wonderful acts which are humanly impossible. As we shall find in the 10th canto of this great literature, Lord Sri Krishna exhibited his humanly impossible activities even from the days of his lying on the lap of his mother. He killed the Putana witch, although she smeared her breast with poison just to kill the Lord. The Lord sucked her breast like a natural baby, and he sucked out her very life also. Similarly, lifted the Govardhan hill just as a boy picks up a frog's umbrella and stood several days continuously just to give protection to the residents of Vrindavan. These are some of the superhuman activities of the Lord described in the authoritative Vedic literatures like the Puranas, Itihasas, histories, and the Upanishads. He was delivered, he has delivered wonderful instructions in the shape of the Bhagavad Gita. He has shown marvelous capacities as a hero, as a householder, as a teacher, and as a renouncer. He is accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead by such authoritative personalities as Vyasa, Devala, Asita, Narada, Madhva, Shankar, Ramanuja, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Giri, Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, and all other authorities of the light. He himself has declared as much in many places of the authentic literatures. And yet, there is a class of men with demonic mentality who are always reluctant to accept the Lord as a supreme absolute truth. That is partially due to their poor fund of knowledge and partially due to their stubborn obstinacy, which results from various misdeeds in the past and present. Such persons could not recognize Lord Sri Krishna even, even when he was present before them. Another difficulty is that those who depend more on their imperfect senses cannot realize him as the Supreme Lord. Such persons are like the modern scientists. They want to know everything by their experimental knowledge, but it is not possible to know the Supreme Person by imperfect experimental knowledge. He is described herein as Adhokshaja or beyond the range of experimental knowledge. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we can observe things. All our senses are imperfect. We claim to observe everything and anything, but we must admit that we can observe things under certain material conditions only, which are also beyond our control. The Lord is beyond conditioned soul, especially of the woman class, who are less intelligent. For less intelligent men, there must be such things as temples, mosques, or churches so that they may begin to recognize the authority of the Lord and hear about him from authorities in such holy places. For less intelligent men, the beginning of spiritual life is essential, and only foolish men decry the establishment of such places of worship, which are required to raise the standard of spiritual attributes for the mass of people. For less intelligent persons, bowing down before the authority of the Lord, as generally done in the temples, mosques, or churches, is as beneficial as it is for the advanced devotees to meditate upon him by active service. So this is a very nice verse. माया जवनिकाश्छन्नम् अज्ञानोक्षितमव्ययम् न लक्ष्यसे मूढदृशा नतो नाट्यधरो यथा. So here, not many people can recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavamajananto namava maheshwaram namabuta maheshwaram. Not many people accept Krishna as God. And what to speak of Gauranga as God? Even less people know about Gauranga as God. But if people have faith in Gauranga, then they'll be better actually if they have faith in Gauranga. If they have faith in Krishna, and they should also have faith in Gauranga. So, text 20. Tatha paramahamsanam munam amalakmanam bhakti yoga vidanatham tatam tashrinahi kriya. तथा परमहंसानां मुनीनां अमलात्मनां भक्तियोगविधानार्थं कथं पश्येम. तथा, besides that, Paramahansanam, of the advanced transcendentalists, Muninam, of the great philosophers or mental speculators, Amala Atmanam, those whose minds are competent to discern between spirit and matter. Bhakti Yoga, the science of devotional service. Vidhanartham, for executing. Katham, how. Pashyama can observe, he certainly, Kriya, woman. You yourself descend to propagate the transcendental science of devotional service unto the hearts of the advanced transcendentalists and mental speculators, who are purified by being able to discriminate between matter and spirit. How then can we women know you perfectly? You see that Kunti is identifying herself. She's telling, I am actually a woman. How can I understand? But know that Kunti is not ordinary. She is actually running in Vrindavan. So Kunti is not ordinary woman. She is actually a great devotee of Krishna. Kunti's brother is Vasudeva Maharaj, and she is the paternal aunt of Sri Krishna. So she is a very exalted Vaishnavi. And every morning we should remember Mother Kunti. Even the greatest philosophical speculators cannot have access to the region of the Lord. It is said in the Upanishads that the supreme truth, the absolute personality of Godhead, is beyond the range of the thinking power of the greatest philosopher. He is unknowable by great learning or by the greatest brain. He is knowable only by one who had his mercy. Others may go on thinking about him for years together, yet he is unknowable. This very fact is corroborated by the queen, who is playing the part of an innocent woman. Women in general are unable to speculate like philosophers, but they are blessed by the Lord because they believe at once in the superiority and almightiness of the Lord, and thus they offer obeisances without reservation. The Lord is so kind that he does not show special favor only to one who is a great philosopher. He knows the sincerity of purpose. For this reason only, women generally assemble in great numbers in any sort of religious function. In every country and in every sect of religion, it appears that the women are more interested than the men. The simplicity of acceptance of the Lord's authority is more effective than showy, insincere religious fervor. So whenever the Bhagavatam is spoken, actually, women are more in number. Women are more in number. So no doubt, women are sympathetic, and that is a great quality. They are not engaged in mental speculation. They like to bow down to Bhagavan wherever they see the divine, powerful being, Supreme Lord Krishna. They like to bow down to him. And this is actually very, very important quality of the woman. Um, so Kunti, she's also not ordinary woman. She's a great devotee of Krishna. Bhagavan says that Naham Krishnami Vaikunthe Yogina Mrudev Viva Mad Bhakta Yatra Gayanti Tatra Krishnami Nare. I don't stay in Vaikuntha. I don't stay in the heart of yogis. Wherever my devotees sing my glories, I stay there. You'll see that Kunti, Mother Kunti, she is praying to Krishna. And this is actually one of the most wonderful prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. No doubt about it. Those who recite this prayer every day, their life will become sublime. Everyone should recite this prayer. Namaste Purusham Tvadyam Ishwaram Prakrite Param Alaksham Sarvbhutanam Antarbhai Avasthitam. Srimati Kunti said, "O Krishna, I offer my obeisances unto you because you are the original." He's telling that you are the original personality and are unaffected by the qualities of the material world. You are existing both within and without everything, yet you are invisible to all. Prabhupada is telling that, so this is the position of the God, that is everywhere. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham is within this universe, he is within the atom also. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. Brahma Samhita 5.35 says, Eko Kesava Rachaitam Jagadanda Koti Shvashesha Vasudari Vibhuti Vimnam Brahmanishkala Manantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Eko Kesava Rachaitam Jagadanda Koti Yashaktirat Jagadanda Chayadanta Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. So Bhagavan is everywhere. He is in the heart of all living entities. He is present in every single atom. And gopis also have confirmed that. Nathalu Gopika Nandano Bhavan Akhala Dehina Antaratmato Vikanasartito Vishwaguptaye Sakau Devan Satvatam Kule. So this is Brahma Samhita. The Lord, by expansion of one of his plenary portions, is existing within this universe. Not only within the universe, but within the atom also. Anor Aniyam Mahato Mahiyam. This is God's qualification. That he can become greater than the greatest, just like we have got conception of the greatest this universe. We cannot even imagine how long, how far it is extended. But such universes are coming out from the breathing of Mahavishnu. Ya karananavajale bhajati sma yoga nidra mananta jagadanda saroma pupa. From his breathing, when he exhales, innumerable universes come out. And when he inhales, all the universes again enter. Bhutva bhutva praliyati. It is generated again and again annihilated. You see that Bhagavad Gita says, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. Bhutagrama Sevayam Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate Ratra Gamne Avasha Partha Pravantya Ragame. Bhutva Bhutagrama, the aggregate of all living entities. Sa, deep, Eva, certainly. I am this. Bhutva Bhutva, repeatedly taking birth. Praliyate is annihilated. Ratri of night. Agame on the arrival. Avashaha automatically. Partha, O son of Prutha. Prabhavati is manifest. Aha of daytime. Agame on the arrival. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being And with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. So it is generated again and again. This is going on. This one side, that innumerable universes can be put into the nostril hole of the Mahavishnu. Another side, he can enter even within the atom. This is God consciousness. Anor Aniya Mahato Mahyam. He is greater than the greatest. We generally say God is great, but do not know how great He is. People say God is great, but we have no conception how great He is. He is so great that He can swallow innumerable universes within His belly. Just like when Krishna was challenged by his mother that show me your face, you say that you have not eaten the earth. Your friends complain and you say that you have not eaten. So I want to see. Open your mouth. So when he opened, she saw all the universes within the mouth. All the universes. He proved, my dear mother, not only a little earth, but the whole universe is within my stomach. So when Mother Yashoda was astonished, she thought something illusory. All right, don't do it again. That's all. But she does not know that here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead to show me His mercy. He has become my child. She does not know. She always thinks He is my child, He is under my control. This is the relationship of the Supreme Personality of Godhead with His devotee. This is wanted. Simply to understand God is very great. That is not sufficient knowledge. When you deal with the great extent, your relationship with the great, that is perfect. That is perfect. Suppose your president is very great. That's all right. Everyone knows president is very great. But what shall I derive out of that? When I actually deal with him, because I become his friend, I become his servant, I become his secretary, I become somewhere other. If I am related with that great personality, that is my benefit. Otherwise, what is the use knowing, oh, President Nixon is very great? There are so many big great people. So what am I deriving from that great? This is Krishna consciousness. The Mayavadi philosophers, they simply remain silent. Oh, God is very great. And they cannot imagine how great He is. But a devotee can understand how great He is. He can see the innumerable universes are within the mouth of God. This is the position of devotee. This is not sufficient knowledge. God is great. God must be great. That's all right. But unless you come in dealing with that great, you cannot relish actually what is God and how great He is. So here Kunti says, Alaksham Sarvabhutanam, all living entities, Alaksham, you are invisible. Although Antar Bahir Avasthika, you are within and without. God is within yourself. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Bhutveshi Artana Tishtati. Brahman Sarvabhutani Yantra Rudhani Mayaya. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is situated in everyone's heart. The yoga system means to find out that God, Paramatma are meditate upon Him. Now the yoga system has come down as a bodily exercise to keep the health very good, to reduce fat. This is yoga system. This is not yoga system. This is a bodily exercise. Real yoga is that God is within me, but He is invisible, alaksham, antar bahir. Although He is within and without, still I cannot see. So meditation means concentrating the mind to find out God. When He is within my heart, where He is within my heart. That is real perfection of yoga. So people do not know this science. Here it is nicely explained that antar bahir avasthita, the Virata Rupa. Just like Arjuna wanted to see the gigantic form of God, he showed him. So we can see the gigantic form in this universe that is described in the Bhagavatam. You have to read that the big mountains, hills, They are the bones of the gigantic form. So they are described. The highest planetary system are the Brahmaloka is the head, and what it is called skull. What is this portion? Skull. So the rivers are the veins. The seas are holes like there. And we are God. In this way, it is all described the gigantic form. So, and gigantic form at the same time is within your heart in very small form. So, he is within and without. Bhagwan is also within and he is without. Simply we have to purify our eyes to see him. That's all. You can see God within and without, but you cannot see with these eyes. These materially contaminated eyes or materially contaminated senses, you cannot understand by these senses. But God can be perceived, can be seen by the senses, by these eyes, when you purify it. That purificatory process is Krishna consciousness. The more you purify, the more you can see God within and without. Atah Shri Krishna Namari Nabhavet Jaya Mandriye. This is Rika Madhya Leela, 17.136. Indriya, the senses cannot perceive, cannot see, cannot touch, cannot hear Namadi. Unless you are purified, you cannot hear about, you cannot hear also Krishna name. Unless you are purified, the name enters the ear and goes out in this ear. You cannot appreciate, therefore purification process is required. People are affected with three kinds of material qualities: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Generally, they are affected by the lower two qualities, ignorance and passion. Rajas Tama. How do we know that this man is in the mode of goodness and this man is in the mode of passion and this man is in the mode of ignorance? How do we know? By the symptoms. By the symptoms. When one is affected by the lower qualities, Rajas Tama, passion and ignorance, his symptoms are that he is very greedy and lusty. These are the symptoms. As soon as you find a person is very greedy and lusty, it can be understood under the control of the lower grade qualities material. And Sattva means Prakash, illumination. When one is situated in the goodness, that is Brahminical qualification. Satyam Shama Dama Tiksha is truthful, is controlling the mind, controlling the senses, Shama Dama and Tiksha. He is tolerant. Titiksha, Arjavam, is simple, simplicity. Samo Dama Titiksha Shuchi. He is clean, Jnanam, he knows things what it is. Vijnanam, he can apply the knowledge in practical life. Jnana Vijnana Astikya. Astikya means to have firm faith in God. He knows that God is there, and he knows that God is within, God is without. These are the symptoms of a person who is in goodness. So these three classes of men are there. So Krishna consciousness movement means to bring persons from the wretched, low qualities, ignorance and passion, to bring him to the platform of goodness. And that goodness also has to be purified. In the material world, the goodness is also attacked by the other lower qualities. Big men, very good men, but there are so many defects. Because unless, first of all, you have to come to the platform of goodness, Brahminical position. Then you have to purify that goodness, Sattvam Vishuddham Vasudeva Shaktikam, uh, Vishuddha Sattva, Vasudeva Sattva, Vasudeva platform. Then you will be able to understand what is God. It is not so cheap that one can understand God so easily while he is in the mode of material nature, especially the lower grade modes. So at the present moment, most people they are in lower grade of the material qualities, ignorance and passion. Therefore, you see all over the world, Rajat, Tamo, Bhava, Kama, Lobha. Every man is greedy and lusty. Every man. So in this position, it is very difficult. Alaksham sarvabhutanam. So unless you change this quality can be changed. It is not that it is stereotype. How these Europeans and American boys they're coming to Krishna consciousness. How? They have changed their quality. By the process, we have got this process. In this process, we can change the quality. That process is explained in Bhagavad Gita. Mam cha vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitektan brahma jaya kalpate. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, and at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahma. We'll stop here today. We'll carry on the same verse tomorrow. Discussion is half 1.8.18. 1.8.18. The same verse we'll discuss tomorrow. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you.
जय श्री शुगर गौरांग गांधर विका गिरधारी श्री राधा गुण जय जी की जय जय कुला प्रेष्ठ गुरु शिष्य भक्तिदांत नारायण कृष्ण महाराज की जय निखिला विष्णु विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत वामन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय निखिला विष्णु विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत विक्रम गोस्वामी महाराज की जय निखिला विष्णु विष्णुपाद शिष्य गोविंद गोस्वामी महाराज की जय निखिला विष्णु विष्णुपाद शिष्य भक्तिदांत साई महाराज की जय आचार्य के श्री शिष्य भक्ति ज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय सपरिकर सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गोवर्धन द्वारशनाथ परिपूर्ण मंडल की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय प्रेम स्वामी श्री मतिलाल नंदी महाराज की जय नाम पंत चंद्रदास प्रभु की जय मठे से पूर्ण की जय धामदास से भक्त वृंद की जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय निकाय के और प्रेमानंदे हरे समाधुर दिवाकर कृपाकर रक्षाकर गुरु चंद्राय राधिक राइट वाले कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तो भक्ताय नमो नमः वृंदाय देवाय प्रियाय कृष्ण भक्ति कृपा समेत पावने वैष्णव अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की समर्पणा थैंक यू सो मच हरे कृष्ण